So we all know peanut butter and bananas are a really good combination, so I figured why not add peanut butter to banana bread. So here we have our ingredients list: 3 overripe bananas, 1.5 cups flour, 3/4 cup sugar, 1/4 cup melted butter, half teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a cup peanut butter, 1 egg. In the meantime, preheat your oven to 350. So let's start by mashing the bananas. These are just overripe. A little bit riper would have been better. It gives you a little bit more banana flavor, but these will do. So these are medium to smaller bananas, but this is a small loaf, so it'll be fine. Okay, so give it a good mash. I always tap the masher on the side of the bowl just because they get stuck, but the bread machine is what I use to mix it. You'll see in a minute. So don't worry about mashing too fine. The machine will do the work for you. Now in the bread machine, I select the dough cycle. So for me, it's number 8 selection. And I'm going to press start, and it has a delayed start. But what that does is it gives a good mix to all your ingredients. You can do this by hand, but by letting this machine run for 20 to 30 minutes and then calling it quits after that and scooping it out, you kind of save all the work of having to mix it really thoroughly. So the machine is kind of the lazy way of doing this, but it really works well. So here you add the mashed banana and the 1 egg. Next is your melted butter, 1/4 cup. So you're adding all your kind of wet or moist ingredients first, just like you would any other bread machine recipe. You're going to add your 3/4 cup of sugar. Some people like more, they'll add a full cup, but I went with 3/4 of a cup. Now we add our flour, 1.5 cups. And then at the end we'll add our baking soda and our salt. I only use a 1/4 teaspoon of salt because there is salt already included in the peanut butter. Now the peanut butter we will not add right away. We're going to let this run for a good 5 minutes, as you see here. And you give it a chance to really mix well. You don't want any dough balls, so give it a good 5 minutes before you add the peanut butter. Here you can see I just sprayed a little bit of water just to get some of that dried flour off the side. You don't have to do that, that's a habit of mine. So after 5 minutes you can see it's pretty well incorporated, and you want to add your peanut butter. So whether you use a sweetbread or a different setting on your bread machine, the whole point is to let it run and do the mixing and kneading for about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes after you start. So once that's done, you're done with your bread machine. You can shut it off and unplug it, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, let the machine do all the work. It's the easy way. Again, you can do this by hand, but I found this is a fairly easy and quick method. So we'll let that run, and you'll see after about 30 minutes you'll have a good to nice smooth mixture. So this loaf pan is a small one. It's about 8 inches. The opening is about 8 inches, and this is a homemade anti-stick mixture that I make out of Crisco, oil, and flour, equal parts. So I give that a decent coating. You don't want it to stick to the pan. Even though this is non-stick, we all know they don't always do what they say. So you remove the pan from your bread machine. Use a good spatula and start. What I've done is I've removed the paddles as well, because sometimes the paddles will come off, and you don't want to end up in the gooey mess in your loaf pan. So remove the paddles first. Give it a good stir also, and make sure there's no unmixed flour sections in the mixture. So it was nice and consistent and well mixed. So now I just use a spatula to get all of it out. So this is for a small loaf. You could up the recipe for a larger loaf pan. And we'll just finish off getting the rest out of the bread machine pan. You could also add nuts to this recipe, but I figured the whole point of this is to add the nuttiness flavor of peanut butter. So you can add walnuts or pistachios, whatever you want to your recipe, but this is just basically peanut butter added to a basic banana bread recipe. So we'll just smooth it out. You'll see after baking it will rise above the lip of the loaf pan. So we'll put it in our oven. This has been preheated to 350. Now my oven is not a high efficiency one with convection or anything. It's just basically old school. So we'll set it for 60 minutes and bake at 350. Now what you can do after 50 minutes, especially if you have a convection oven and it's cooking faster, you could double check for doneness at around 50 minutes. So this is about 20 to 25 minutes after being put in, and here it is completed after 1 hour. You could also check for doneness with a toothpick by inserting it, and if it comes out clean, it's done. If it comes out dirty, it can go in for another 5 to 10 minutes. So you'll get some cracking. Sometimes it's bigger than other times, but it's completely done inside. So we'll just pop it out, and you can see it comes right out. Doesn't stick at all. Let it cool for, I would say, a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes. We'll give a couple of slices off the edge here, and it's a nice, consistent, moist, and it has that peanut butter flavor. Now I do a half a cup, but you can add maybe 3/4 a cup. Just don't overdo it on the peanut butter because it'll take maybe too long to cook or a little bit too moist. But I found about a half a cup. It just adds that peanut butter flavor. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.